And the Nairobi duty station is the fastest growing duty station in the UN. It's the only duty station growing. Today, as I speak to you, we have 86 UN offices in Kenya, 73 in the Gigiri. When the UNEP was set up, it was 300 staff. Today, it's 6,500, 11,000 families and dependents. So the floating one, people who come for meetings, about 3,000. So as the Director General who is responsible for safety and security of staff, my total people I'm responsible for is 20,000 in Kenya today. And we have 2 global offices, UNEP and UN Habitats. By the middle of next year, we're going to have 3 additional global offices, UNICEF, UNFPA, UN Women. Their headquarters will be in New York, but the bulk of their offices staff will be here. So there will be their global operation, part of their global operation is going to be shifted in Kenya. So their headquarters will be there, skeleton staff, but the bulk of their staff will be there doing the global operation. And by then we're expecting 800 to 1,000 staff in addition. And I think I have to thank the President of the General Assembly, and through him the Secretary General. By 2030, the UN General Assembly will be investing $340 million in upgrading the infrastructure. And one of the investments is building an assembly hall. It is the first assembly hall the UN General Assembly Secretariat is building since 1949. What is the implication of that? If that project is concluding, if called upon and required, Kenya can host the General Assembly because you have the infrastructure. You have an assembly hall. We're going to have 9,000 seating capacity, which is at par with New York and Geneva. We're going to have 30 conference meeting rooms. Right now we have 13. Right now seating capacity 2,000. But they are bringing it at the level. That's the decision the General Assembly took, to bring Nairobi at the same level with Geneva and New York. And Kenya is also, he said about that, because we live in an area that we have a lot of challenges. Kenya is the evacuation center for 9 countries in the neighborhood. When there's crisis there, these countries is mandated they bring their stuff here. Central African Republic, Ethiopia, Somalia, Uganda, South Sudan, Burundi, Sudan, Tanzania, and Yemen. And I give an example. When the crisis broke in Sudan, I called the peers. We sent a note verbal that they are receiving them. I called the peers like 6 in the morning. He knows, we talk, around midnight or what. The president, he's contacted the president gave the approval. We flew in the people from Sudan. The government put a tent at the airport, received those people, and they were stationed here. So today, as we speak, if you take WFP, we have WFP regional office, we have WFP Somalia, we have WFP Sudan, we have WFP Kenya. So these other countries, there's a crisis today in Tanzania, this is where they bring them. There's a crisis in Uganda, this is where they come. And like he said, Kenya is the medical hub. We sign agreements with the big medical hospital, Aga Khan, Nairobi Hospital, big them, to be providing medical support to the UN in the environment. The numbers we pitch is 250,000. Because it's the UN staff in all these countries, their families, the peacekeepers, our partners. So when we plan for medical evacuation for 250,000 people who should have the ability to actually come to Kenya. And this includes, of course, UN staff. So the Kenya duties, the Nairobi, UN in Nairobi is a very unique and complex. So we're working with the government because, like I said, it was 300 staff, now it's 6,500. So the structure that the government of Kenya, that is what we're going through. That's why he was telling about the liaison committee that was set up when UNEP was set up, those definitely cannot fit. Because the UN is such a big elephant here, it means that we have to work. And now we even realize that with all the expansion, we might not have enough office space. We have office space for everybody that is coming, but which means now we're doing a long time. When we do the presentation to you tomorrow, we'll tell you on where are we moving. 5-10 years is going to grow tremendously. That's the UN. So we're working with the government to look at it. how do you plan for, nobody in their wildest imagination ever thought this is what's going to happen. But that's what is going to happen. And we also talk, because internally we also would need the General Assembly to provide the necessary support for us, because the company is expanding. So I want to just say I thank the college. Work very well with the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And I just want to give an example of the PS Water. When we're building the building, which you are going to see tomorrow, the offices, we found out the water pipe for the brewery actually went through our compound, the big pipe. So we had to stop the construction, which is why the building my office had to delay, because he had to give instruction to block the water in Gigiri. Because we needed to remove the pipe, put it back in another place, and build it. But I called him, we spoke very late at night. The next day he reacted. So as far as DG I'm concerned, as the Director General, I can say that they are reacting. So the elephant is so growing that we themselves are struggling to follow. That's what is happening, which is good in a way. So that's the challenge, and that's why we're working with them to see what additional structures we can put in place to be permanent to support us, because it's growing. We are the fastest growing. We are the only duty station that is growing, and I'm sure we have UNEP, UNICEF 200, UNEP 130, UN Women. I think more are going to come. So which means we have a lot of work to do to make sure all those teething problems, the bottleneck, we can solve them. Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you. Thank you so much.